Man, Stephen Miller has the energy of a guy who's been waiting his whole life for someone to give him permission to bully the lunch lady. He struts around like a pit bull, but you know, under the pants he's got hamster nuts, 2 sad little Tic Tacs rattling around in a Pringles can. Miller is the type of dude who practices scowling in the mirror but forgets his face is shaped like a knockoff Voldemort action figure. You ever notice Stephen Miller talks like a guy who thinks Darth Vader was the protagonist? Man's got the charisma of a parking ticket and the face of a Victorian child who died of bad vibes. Stephen Miller looks like the ghost of a child who tattled on Anne Frank. He looks like every organ in his body is lactose intolerant. If you told me his blood type was unseasoned, I'd believe you. He's not a fascist because of ideology. He's a fascist because nobody ever let him sit at the lunch table. This dude saw Mean Girls and thought it was a documentary on how to run a country. You can tell he's evil because he always looks like he's been caught masturbating to a spreadsheet. His smile could curdle oat milk. He's like if Elon Musk and a pile of chalk had a son that hated minorities. And the worst part, he struts around like he's the brains behind Trump. Buddy, that's like being the sober driver in a clown car headed for a burning orphanage. Stephen Miller looks like if malnutrition got a law degree. He's the only guy who could make Voldemort say, "Jesus, lighten up, dude." Miller's the type of guy who still calls his mom mother and not in the cute Norman Bates way, in the we share an email address way. He's got the confidence of a man who's never made eye contact during sex with anyone. If mayonnaise had anxiety, it would look like Stephen Miller. You can tell he's evil because every photo of him looks like it was taken mid-racist thought. He looks like he moisturizes with hand sanitizer and resentment. His whole personality screams, "I peaked during Model UN." He looks like if a skinhead went vegan for the moral superiority. He's the only fascist who needs a booster seat to reach authoritarianism. Bro's out here trying to build a 4th Reich, but he can't reach the top shelf of the 3rd. He's like if Mussolini got rejected from Munchkin Land. If Stephen Miller got any smaller, he'd qualify as carry-on baggage for evil. This man's the only guy who has to stand on a copy of Mein Kampf just to look intimidating. If you gave an Oompa Loompa a superiority complex and a tiki torch, you'd get Stephen Miller. If fascism had a fun-size edition, it'd come with a Stephen Miller action figure complete with tiny torch, smaller brain, and removable conscience. You ever notice he talks like he's addressing a rally, but he's the same height as the podium? Every time he yells, "We will rise again," you want to hand him a stepladder. He's like Hitler if Hitler's mom drank diet racism while pregnant. Bro's got the presence of a Funko Pop with hate crimes. If Stephen Miller ever invaded Poland, he'd need Uber XL for transport. Stephen Miller is the type of dude who calls the adventures of Chino and Homeboy critical race theory fan fiction. Damn right it is, Stephen, and we'll sell it on Amazon paperback and Kindle for the low price of your white fragility.